Indeed. Thank you, Stream Elements. The obvious of obvious. How's it going, Lucy? Good to see you. Yeah. What would we do without it? Oof, of all the useless things. All right, I'm waiting for the game to load. I don't want to click away from KSB. That tends to cause it to crash sometimes, like when and every. I don't know. Okay, here we are. Let's switch this over. Hopefully, it'll catch up quickly. Yay, there we are. Awesome. How's it going, everyone? All right. So, yeah. We got our moonshot building. We're definitely going to be shooting, trying to do lunar impactor and lunar flyby today. But before we get to that, we need to get our 350-ton pad up to spec and ready to fly so that we can knock out some of those other contracts that we're certainly falling way behind on. So, okay, so let me load this up. No, that's not it. Ampersand did a bunch of stuff over the week. This bullfrog prototype stuff. Oh, great. Now I don't know which one's which. We'll go with the one that's... Ooh, no, that one looks like it's got more tooling on it. Gotten a bit of Minecraft terrain generating with modded biomes in the modern game. Nice. Just taking Spanish at 2. Alright, let's take a look here and see what we're looking at, since it won't show me the full name because the name is just too long. Yeah, the ampersand drop tank skills, exactly. I'm hoping that we can exploit the fuck out of that. I just need to make sure this is the correct one. It'll take a little while to load, even though I did. Simav recommended that I update, community patches? Oh, boo, what did Simav tell me to update? KSPCF community fixes, yeah. Because that would increase our loading time. It has a somewhat. Yeah, this is our... I think... No, because I put a Roman numeral 2 behind it. But this does look like the last thing I buttoned up. But I thought I left it... extendified? So I probably loaded that one. I need to load this one. Mr. Mark, huzzah! How's it going? Cedar getting stabbed from it. At 2, you 2. Yeah, this is the one, because all the stages are expanded so we can talk about them very briefly, and we can all... at L, Cosmo? At ill? At all? Oh, yeah, no. I don't know what's going on anymore. I speak only 2 languages, English and bad English. Yes. Roman numerals, yes. At 2. I get it. Yep. The live message was late. Unacceptable. Quite. This does not look... Oh, it's because the fairings are there, and they don't need to be. So... Here's what is going to attempt to complete the Molina orbit contract. We'll start at the top. There's our dinky satellite, which I meant to actually make somewhat pretty, but did not. It's very stretchy indeed. We'll be packing it all back together somewhat soon. Anyway, right on, Mark. Have a good night. See you next time. There's our satellite. Let's make sure this is... Nope, that's the one. Yeah, no. We don't need to impart another couple of tons of force when we deploy that, because orbit has to be specific, so we'll leave it to nothing. So, yeah, we've got our XLR-11 with our XLR-11 tank. And then here is another tank for the XLR-11. That one will tuck up nicely, so drop tank. Thank you, ampersand. So that is our first set of stages. You're going to clip in like crazy, aren't you? Of course you are. Why would everything go smooth? Yeah, we'll just snug that in just a little bit, leave a gap for the Kraken. So check our staging. That's deploy. That is drop tank deploy. Amber fluence. I like that. Anyway, all right. And as we move just a little further down, we have a twin RDO 105. Because we love the memes, I guess. That is our orbital in, well, hopefully, what will insert us into a very, very nice high orbit. And that will tuck in just like so. Leave a gap for the Kraken. Not that much of a gap. We don't need too much Kraken. And wrapped around it is another drop tank. Amperzan has gone above and beyond on our tanks that fall away. So yeah, there's avionics. That is, I was gonna switch that structural piece out for something else, but leave a gap for jeez. Oh, I do remember being told that. So this tank snuggles up just like so, nice and compact. That we have so much delta V in such a small footprint, I guess is the correct term for it. Oh yeah, staging, stupid. So that goes, you go, the RCS goes, then the drop tank goes, then payload deploy. Good. All right, that is tank deploy, and that is beauty ring sep, and before beauty ring seps, yeah, stage sep, ullage motors. No. No. What are you guys doing way up here? Oh no, that's core stage sep, which yeah, that's what's going on here. So those 4 fire and these 4 fire, sweet. Now show the first stage drop tanks. Here they are, wrapped gleefully around the core, which these need to be retooled because there used to be 2 tanks here. One was the booster and another one was like the nose cone section, but I don't know, got frustrated with that. Dracul, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, Raiders. How's everyone doing today? We're just going over our next LV. So, there we go. Taurus fan, hi. Hello. Would that be a Ford Taurus? Taurus fan OE, like original equipment? Oh man, I have some stories about Ford Tauruses? Tauruses? Oh, that's one we're gonna have to figure out for sure. Alright, so there's our twin RDO 105 meme stage. Ford Tourism kicking it off good. I thought you were talking about the booster. So that will tuck in like so. Ta-da! Leave a gap for the Kraken, because the Kraken really does hate me. Alright, we'll leave that spaced as such. And yeah, we should probably get this on a somewhat reasonable level here. There we go. That will probably play nice. Yay! All right, and there's our tiny payload. So we're going to give this a quick test flight. You can go in your own stage here. All right, quick review. There's our engine staging. Clamps off. Booster sep. Fairing sep. Core stage jettison. Twin RDO 105. Ignition. Beauty ring sep. First external drop tank sep. RDO 105 stage sep. XLR 11 deploy. RCS. Boom. Okay, good. We're looking good. You started your playthrough today because a great thinking fail yesterday. Oh no. Well, good luck on your new one. Sorry your last one conked out, but yeah, that sucks. That sucks real bad. All right, 313 tons total. What's our total avionics load? 350. Good. Let's hit save and let's hit simulate. And if this works out, we'll start updating the launch pad while we save money for tooling. And then we'll turn our attention back to doing lunar impactor, lunar flyby. Failed the whole program, didn't want to continue. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that's a pretty big blow to have to absorb. Sometimes you're just better off starting over, having learned the lessons from all the previous failures, which is why I'm here. You can learn from my failures. The circle of RP1. Build rocket, get hella failures. Reset out of sheer spite. If you don't meet a program deadline, like the funding kind of flatlines and you just sit there being scowled at by the government, I assume. That's a really good question. All right, Molina satellite, periapsis above 500,000. I do wonder if we can get to a 500 by 500 orbit with all of the, I don't know, excess delta V we have from that twin 0105 stage. God, I'm going to have to say that so many times this stream. All right, so inclination between 61.4 and 65.4. So let's go for like 63. So we got some wiggle room. And yeah, we'll have to really fine tune everything else down there. So, all right, let's get this test run going. Engage autopilot, ignition, of course, no failures. So our big M52 can just get off the pad, poot and scoot. 1.32 surface thrust to weight ratio off the pad. Now that we've updated our 107s on the boosters and the 108 on the core to the 1958 variant, gives us a little more ability to haul ass. Thank goodness. Alright. Our QA limit is still set at 1400, our booster pitch rate at 0.55. How is this saying we're going to do for... Alright, so that's with boosters, that's core only, stage SEP, and then these two numbers will be our RDO 105 stage, so it's already saying it's going to eat up that full 1769 from its first outer tank. We can't relight those engines, so the next stage with its 2736 meters per second available, we can, burn it or lose it. When is it in game? Oh, come on. There we go. October 15th, 1960. So, yeah, we're starting to slip a little bit behind as far as the real timeline is going. Just mash them together like Soviets did. The 215 is just a 216 cut in half. You're now running an OD 2010. I like that. Reason they always simulate that they know everything about their rocket before actually launching it. Well, that's what talented people do. I usually just say, good enough, but I'm taking liking these simulations. How's it going, Floating Spaceman? I'm doing quite well. How are you? Oh, I'm tired. My back hurts. But most of that's just because I'm old. No, I went and helped a friend work on their car today. We took the rear subframe out of a Mazda Miata and then pulled the gas tank. And so now everything hurts. Get real lazy on sims. It worked in other playthroughs. It'll work here too. Yeah, I'm very guilty of that as well. Oh no, the pairing is eating my rover. Ampersand, how's it going? It's so far so good. We just did a quick review of the rocket. It's basically the file I sent you, what was that, Friday? Unaltered. But we're testing it against the Molina orbit contract and hoping that we get lots of extra wiggle room. Even if we're going to try to put it to a 500 by 500 orbit, just because we got lots of delta V on that twin 105 stage, which apparently is going to be called the RD 2010 stage. Doing good. Classes are fine. Got your midterms coming in. Ooh, man, is it that time already? All right. Boosters clearing away. First stage drop tanks do work, aren't necessarily worth the trouble as much as the upper stages. Well, just like how Kevin McClure did. Atlas Aurora is a beautiful creature. Exactly. So glad to not really have midterms anymore. Lucky duck. Oof. I'll say mine are probably coming up. No, gosh, it's not. No, it's middle of September. I'm like, is it October already here? No, it's not. Fairing Sep clearing away. There's our very sad little satellite. doing its best to do something. Sophomore engineering classes don't really do them here. Ah, interesting. What major am I? Computer science. Please don't judge me. I'd be happy to contrive some kind of drop tank first stage monster. let me get back to you before we overcomplicate the hell out of everything. No judgment. I'll say real engineers tend to look at software engineers and be like, come on, man. What are you doing with your life? Our frame rate has suddenly... now that those boosters are gone, we have frames again. I could stuff it. Names on names. How's it going? Welcome. Thought we would all be Arrow, right? Still go harder on drop tanks, fear not. Oh my. Oh no. Hey, Present, I await your meme rockets. His double barrel boosters are space enough for drop tanks. Grab them in there. Make it fit. Despite the over-engineering, these drop tank stages do actually come with a substantial part count savings. So, when have I ever been concerned about part count? I'm so used to playing this game at like 4 frames a second that it doesn't even bother me anymore. I hope there's still remote work opportunities. I'm sure there will be. Like, the entire economy around, I don't know, office work or engineering in general has shifted dramatically. Love to live not in the US. Fair. Alright. Solid light on the 105s. Beauty ring is clear. And we need to open this up so that we can pin that. And it looks like we'll be able to hit our 500 by 500 orbit with about 1 kilometer per second left in this Twin 105 stage, which is fantastic. The mods KRPC or KOS? I have looked at them. And oh boy, I don't know. I guess my opinion's a little weird on that front. Cause I'm like, man, this looks like work. Because while I am still like pursuing my degree, actually, I have a job doing some measure of software development. It's mostly, I don't know, it's industrial. So like I think controls engineer might be a more fitting title. Although my official job title is application developer. And so like I go to school where I will work on like, you know, C#, C++, C, Java, whatever the class is that semester. I'll go to work and I'll do most of my stuff in like C# with a little bit of like VBS and a lot of SQL. Then I'll come home and I want to unwind. And the only thing I would love to do is not write any more code. But I understand it could be super efficient and it can be a lot of fun to play with. I'm just too much coding. Hopefully with your salary I can just travel and do work on the go if you want to. Oh, that would be chef's kiss. You should have the margin on the XLR11 too. Here's hoping. I mean, looks like we're going to have oogles of margin at least on orbital insertion, which is great. We can choose where we want to bump up, and hopefully we'll have no trouble not circularizing, but hitting our marks here. How did you manage direct descent into the correct arguments of the orbit? Molina, the way you tested it was direct descent to Molina apogee on the... Wow. Yeah, I'm curious as to Beastie's question as well. The cool kids contribute code to the RO suite of mods in their spare time. The cool kids absolutely do that. Unfortunately, I have never been one of the cool kids. And it's just way too late in life to start now. At noon, why am I hungry? Well, I don't... Good question. I ate yesterday. Why aren't I hungry yet? Inclination and apogee, and then correct with the burn at apogee using the delta V in the 11. Ah, okay. Spiro, alas. I don't know what that word means, but okay. like KOS. You can use it for small things and existing scripts and fly your own the rest of the time, so you don't have to write any script. That's fair. It's very fair. And I'll never knock anybody from using it. It looks too much like work, which is also why I can't play Factorio. I'm like, this is just too similar to my job. We're just not going to do that. How's that sound? Like, you figure out PVG settings to make this booster not flip right before double barrel separation. Really? Oh, like, I think it has more to do with the QA limit and the booster pitch rate to keep this thing from kicking around. You do. I'll say, who said it last week that the 0105s love the lob? So you really got to be like none atmospheres to keep this thing from spinning. Stay away from work. I'm trying my best, Bullet. Really, I am. How's it going? Welcome. Good to see you. Pronounced like the dragon. I know very little about dragons. Your margins weren't what you're getting. Okay, you're still able to pull it off, even though it did the kick flip on separation. All right, we got to stage this off here in just a second. So let me make sure my pointer is outside of mech jeb. Batunk. There we go. First drop tank is away. Uh-oh. Mech jeb has decided. Oh, there it goes. It's green. The warning is green. It's the same text as before, just it's green now instead of red. I love the lob. Did a torque balancing script in KRPC, so you make asymmetric craft and it'll adjust the throttle limits on all engines so it doesn't spin out. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I'm really curious to see how you did that. Names on names. There's a whole rocket with booster still attached. Oh, okay. So like the before booster set, yeah, that's all QA limit. I think the default setting for that is like 2000. On a lob launch like this, 1400 is probably okay, but I think I had to bring it down to like 1200 for low perigee orbital insertions. Oh, you know Spyro the Dragon. Oh, I know of Spyro the Dragon. I don't think I've played that one. I know I have not. Praise Kraken. The separation did go quite well. We will in fact praise Kraken. A little crackening you've got in your various drop tank abominations. Well, don't jinx it, Ampersand. Mind if I drop a link? I do not mind, but I'd say, honestly, it would be more convenient to me personally if you're able to put it in the Discord. But if, you ain't got time for that, go ahead, drop the link in here, and I'll try to scoop it up just quick as I can. But yes, please, go ahead. You make a CORD, but it works. Make the cord computer. Crucial thing is just not to have any opportunities for part clipping / collisions. Indeed. Spyro's Latin is shortened to Spyro. It's pronounced Spyro. Ah, gotcha. Hey, dude, we made it. We are in orbit. And wow, lots of margin left on this little guy. That is pretty sweet. That's a really high orbit to insert into, I might add. All right, so we're going to come down, I guess, here where the demonstrator orbit and our orbit intersect, and boost this way the hell up. Whoop. We'll take a look at what kind of delta V we're dealing with here. It looks like we got, well, wow, I am way the hell off. 39,238 is what it's saying we need to be at, which we're way above that. So let's right click that open. Oh, why? Why would you do that, friend? Yeah, that looks all right. Okay. 39,238. We will be adjusting that to make sure that we have our eccentricity and our orbital period correct. I went way below it. Good for me, for I can't talk and do literally anything at the same time. Discord, yeah, it's exclamation. You figured it out. Random query. Do you know how to check the game frame rate from somewhere? Not readily. Okay, sorry. I did not pay very much attention. Now I have to catch back up with chat. Basically, when you describe, oh yeah, the Soviet control computer that would shut down, like if an engine on the N1 had a problem, it would shut down the opposite engine. That was the Cord computer. Yeah, shutting down all engines in a chain reaction, working only on the last attempt, which failed second stage ignition. Oh, it worked. That's yeah. Like you could be in a Molina orbit in the correct north-south direction, but not a specific one. Boo. Eek! Alright, let's RCS to R, make sure throttle is set to 0. Let's stage off our Twin 105 and pull our XLR 11 stage out of the hole here. And I wonder how much of this we're going to lose to boil off, because yeah, we got 3.6 kilometers per second. It says we need 2.4. We'll see how much of this we lose to boil off. What color is the timer? Womp womp. And we may need to actually add some juice to this Cosmic Ray Science. Why the fuck are you there? Yes, doing quite well. Everything is going generically excellent. Names on names, welcome to the Discord. Still not too specific, but they demand Southern Hemisphere out of argument of periapsis on the contract. Yep. It's an advantage of the S-155. Storable fuels. Yeah, noted. Be very wonky back and forth of it. Still true Soviet Molina is required. Alright, while that's doing that, let me manage users. Oh, thank you for posting that script names. S-155 does imply some jank. Does it now? Alright, and so how much, especially on a balloon tank, really doesn't seem to be all that bad for a single pass boil off, but you know, here we go. Alright, so we will need to separate this drop tank halfway through this burn, hopefully. Fuel does XLR 25 use, better over the knockoff 155. Good question. So you're charged $10,000 for sending your cat into space. That's a bargain. Are you going to get it back, though? 2 engines to fly straight for twice the opportunities to get Agathorn. Finally got RCS unlocked. That makes things, especially Elegy things, so much nicer. Nope, that structure, that's the tank I am looking for. Lock you open so we can jettison you at the correct time. It was a cat Astra. Oh. Oh. Haven't messed with the XLR 25. Kind of forgot. Yeah, same. Might have to go poke at that, but honestly, like, the fewer engines you use, the more money savings you will have. Just generally speaking, engines are expensive as hell. I think really, I'm hoping the next 2 engines I plan on unlocking are the LR87 LH2s and the RL10s. And those are quite a bit up the tree from me right now, so I don't know, I guess we shall see. Alright, this is the tricky one. The one that tends to make things go a little bonkers, so... Whew, alright, free and clear. Yes, that one worked well. Fantastic. Jupiter's 64 moons. That's why they'd have a bad werewolf problem. Okay. Twitch is failing too often. Oh. Someday when it's not as bad now. Right on, Taurus fan. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for saying hi. I'm here every week, generally speaking, so. Uh-oh. What, are we done? Oh, shit. We're done. We just gotta adjust our orbital period. What is our total orbital period? 11 hours, 50 minutes. We need to be at 11 hours, 56 minutes or better so we can No, we can't, because I don't have comms. We're going to wait until we're over something that has comms, and we're just going to extend our orbit out just a smidgen. 6 or some odd minutes worth. There we go. And if you could face to prograde, please. It's an awkward stage of X-Plane engines, the same as the XLR-99. Mostly you're done with X-Plane stuff by the time you unlock the 99. True. And in some people's cases before the 25 or the 155. Also true. Strong Soviet engineering built out the finest scripts of steel, so we pay savings on to you. You could be able to put together a pretty interesting drop tank abomination if you grab the HA-10 mid. As I hold off for the HA-10 advanced. I say honestly, I think in my last playthrough I didn't even get the HA-10. Alright, everything there still looking good. We just gonna bump our orbit up a little bit until our orbital period. We got 6 more minutes to add to it. And we're going to do so at the worst possible moment. Yeah. Trying to do this in such a way where we're not really throwing off our eccentricity too much, but this is, come on. Just like 5602, yay, there it is. We get the check mark, checking for stable orbit. That'll do. Yes. Okay, so this will clear the Molina contract with flying colors. I'll take that as proof positive. Let's jump back to the VAB. Let's get our launch pad updated. We're going to buy some tooling. You tend to avoid pressure fed when you can. Fair enough. It's taking asteroid. Why was Jupiter banned from competing in the planetary box? It's taking asteroids. I think you may try to PR new air launch configs for RP1. It's thinking mid-70s one for Enterprise or equivalent launcher. Interesting. So between the HA-10 mid and the XLR-11 is your orbital maneuver stage, all the way to RL-10. I mean, you make a good point. I keep getting worse, better and better. Max level launcher. Should it not be? All right, not. Switch to LC. Let's go this way. The 350 ton. We need to hit upgrade. How long is our upgrade gonna take? Renovate. All engineers. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. And how much tooling can we buy? Not much. We do not have a whole lot of money, but we also can't afford to build this rocket if we don't tool a bunch of stuff. I approve. Don't know that RP1 Deads would approve. You know. Axis based. You can also grab the RD-58 though. The RD-58 is a great engine. Honestly. Alright, what's our big expensive one? That's, wow, 42 grand on, that's, oh, yeah, I know I can't afford it. You're the big one? You're the one that's going to cost me all the money? No. Purchase tooling. That'll help somewhat. Let's get these fairings off. I'm just going to buy as much tooling as I can for this project, and then we'll move on with our day. Tool tank. Purchase tooling. Avionics. The avionics are going to be a big one. Let's do those. Also, tool avionics. Purchase tooling. I have a feeling that was not the avionics. Was it? Yeah, it was. Okay, good for me. No. Close. I have to hit the button down here to close. Sorry, chat. I do if we use raises mod. Hope to. I know, I changed a little bit of stuff here and there, but hopefully that the tooling, like, that's a really cheap tooling for balloon tanks, because we already have the diameter tooled, but not the the length. Yeah, that's a stringer tank, but why not? We're here, aren't we? NASA's DART spacecraft successfully slammed an asteroid, just like the Mars polar. Ouch. Oh yeah, that's a biggin. Cha-ching. And there goes all of our money. That one. Oh, nope, that one's already tooled. What about the little guy down here? That's the one nope, that one's already tooled. Excellent. And the core tank will definitely need to be tooled. And that's the other big one. Okay. So at least the pad is being upgraded. That's what we needed for right now. We've successfully wasted all of our money. So there's that. Bunch of shuttle mods a while back. Yeah, I think. Oh, did I change any diameters? Oh yeah, the inner tank on the twin 105 stage I changed a little bit just because I altered some of the structure and like the length and things weren't quite gonna work, but that's where we are. All right. So we're reconditioning our Orbiter 1 launch pad. We're going to do Moonshot as soon as that's done. But hey, our 350-ton pad is about to be done renovating. Excellent. So we made some money. Let's go ahead. Oh, wait, I got a bunch of rockets I can scrap. Or no, I shouldn't scrap them. I should edit them. So I've jumped into the screen and we're going to deal with a bunch of loading screen for no real reason. Wacky part is the dual 0105 stage uses drop tanks to the central one, but the drop tank is stringers. That's the only 3.5 tooling I've got. Fair. What grade did NASA employee get on their exam? T minus. Yeah, I'll say that's why that outer tank was so cheap to tools, because it's a aluminum stringer, and you know, makes sense. Money savings. Money, right? And you're tooled? You're tooled. Oh, so tooled. See, I rebuilt these and I need to retool them. Oh, hey, I actually can. That's nice and cheap. Let's do that right quick whilst we are here. There's a bunch of stringers that need retooling. Let me pop these off so we can just take a look-see. Oh, yeah, that's right. And honestly, once we're down to just stringers, hitting the tool all button is just going to be just fine. There's that little lip tank right down here. That says tooled. And that says tooled. So both of those are tooled. I think really tooling cost is still 90,000. So what's on here that we don't quite have tooled yet that's going to cost that much, I wonder? Avionics need to be retooled? Yep. Yeah, that's a big chunk of it. Close, close. All right. Yeah, fine. Pop the fairings back. Let's go edit our existing boosters and get them built up to spec. Save, leave. You want to pay respects to the Mars rover that NASA lost contact with. Oh, jeez. It's a missed opportunity. Once upon a time, CH4 had hypersonic air launch. You'd love that to have a base game. They're never. Yep. Probably not. All right. So let's go hit edit. The balloon stringer combo has a performance advantage for using integral tankage for. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. I mean, balloons being the lightest, you'd think they'd give you the highest oomph, but it definitely doesn't hurt that you're ditching the heavier tank. Explains no, they have stuff that gets so nonsense. Then why not have some fun in the future down there? You can have stock rapier, dude, right? Why did NASA fly to the moon? Not because it was easy, but because it was hard. And we'll see 2 lines in the tree. Speed base and mast base air launch. Interesting. Mast base culminating in strata launch level launchers. The speed base culminating in ramjet LV like Segnar 2. I mean, technically the SR-71 became an air launch vehicle also. The M21, it's too far to walk. Going for balloons on both would be better, but balloon core and dropped stringer is apparently better than having both be intermediate. Fair enough. And I don't know, I wonder what the cost offset difference is using something really cheap like the aluminum stringers and then something really expensive like the like the balloon tanks. All right. Great. I don't remember which one it was. It's got to be this one because we looked at it more, and yeah, the cost is still 21.7. So load. Balloons don't really cost that much once they're tooled. Tooling is very costly. I'm gonna have to look into that. Yep, prototype tool. This is our winner. So as soon as it's done loading, we'll hit save edits and let them just start working on this. And I don't know, maybe it'll be built before I have to end the stream today. At some point, they split a bunch of Hydrolock stuff in a new line above the existing one. It'd be nice to have a split for blue sky nodes at hypersonic flight research. You know, not a bad idea. 158 days. Edited 0%. Fuck you. Fine. Save edits. God, I hate my life. Modular tank balloon. Unlock 2 parts for... Yeah. Ba-boonk. Okay, yeah. Pay the cost on the 107s and then not enough funds to integrate. Yay! Save. I guess we hit cancel edits because now we can't do much of anything. I forgot about that. I have to actually pay money to unlock the... I swear I was using the 1958 RD-108 on the moon launcher thing for whatever reason. Yeah, this little guy. I guess we'll leave our staff off of stuff. How long is that? Man, that's like 2 months. And while we're sitting here not having any money, let's duplicate Moonshot 2, make sure we're building a backup. Ooh, are we losing money day to day? We are. We're upgrading our tracking station. Got a little research in the queue. That doesn't really matter. Staff. Got Orbiter 1. Okay, these all got reassigned, and I guess we can take a bunch of them off the project for the time being. That should, yeah, that helps out our money quite a bit. All right, warp to complete. We need to bank some cash, not burn it. Okay, ooh, man, y'all are very chatty today. I love it. I'm sorry, I'm doing a real bad job of keeping up with it. All right, let's go take the contract first. Let's do lunar flyby. I'm gonna do these separately. I know you can knock them out in one breath, but you get a lot of science if you swing the flyby, and so I do want to try that first. So let's start that rollout there. How much money do we have? 13 grand. I think we should be able to go back and edit this little guy and get it building. Cygnar would have been powered by an arrangement of 6 hybrid turbo ramjets. Space launch configuration. Cygnar would have taken off conventionally, ascended to a ceiling altitude of 100,000 feet, a maximum speed of Mach 6, after which second stage would have been separated, independently powered ascent to orbit. Wow. All the way to absolute beach. I think 2-meter balloons are very reasonable diameter to keep forever. Fair. And higher diameter, yeah, I would say like going to the bigger diameter balloons is just pain. Don't want to cheese her, Cosmo? Wait, who am I cheesing? That'd be 3048 meters altitude. Oh, 30,480 altitude, 1833 meters per second, 120-ton launcher for Cygnar 2, speed-based. Interesting. Are you using the 300-ton booster for moonshots? No, we're using our 65-tonner, our little guy. It's like a 2020 It's interesting. Doubling up on contracts, forgot you could even do that. There's only some of them you can do it on. This is one of those cases where you can get some stuff done, but a lot of them you just can't. All right. Open. Fine. Should put like a dash in front of the name or something so that it just goes to the tippy top. Load. Looking at XLR 25, it doesn't have an S. ISP advantage versus the XLR11. Interesting. So yeah, it's probably not worth doing a whole lot with. It's mostly early sat contracts of old, indeed. Do you mind going to the Topics menu and switch to empty profile? Sure, I don't mind that at all. Can I do it here in the VAB, or should I be out at the main screen to do that? Stratolon should be 10,600 meters, 250-ton payload, and 236 meters per second. Button on the bar below, so I can do it right here. All right, so what do I do? Just profile empty, or what am I looking for here? I've never actually messed with this at all. So I'm gonna need you to talk me through this, Simev. Profile. All right, what? Switch to an empty profile. One of those empty ones at the bottom, like default empty. There we go. Oh wow, that changed a lot of stuff. Never mess with it. Look at all the Fox profiles. I downloaded a bunch thinking like one of these days I will be able to go through these and it will be okay. And I never did. Good. Okay. Wow, that is a lot crisper. Dude, improvement. Integration is now, oh yeah, it's because we took a bunch of engineers off the project and we'll put them back on. All right, save edits. Unlock. Okay, and it saved the edits and added it to the build list. So there's that. Sweet. You must embrace the Fox farm. Step along the way and speed base could be Valkyrie. Set to launch the X-15. Interesting. All right, let's bump you up. Let's go to staff. Let's reassign our 300 or so engineers. Toby, double digits. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Welcome. Oh, I have 25 applicants. That's neat. We'll just, how are we doing on researchers? We're maxed out. Good. Hire 10, hire 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Save the money. All y'all can get to work. Orbiter 1 should be maxed out. Good. And they're at good efficiency. Excellent. Moonshot, that's rolling out. We don't have enough money to duplicate currently, and wow, we're bleeding money. Oops. Okay. So about that job y'all just had. 2, 3. I mean, we'll pull 400 off the project just so we can hit work to complete, and we won't be bankrupt when we get there. I took the contract. That's good. And now we're at plus 309. Oh, did I ever, before we do this, I'm sorry. Com network. Okay, we're collecting money on this, but not a whole lot, and not for very much longer. Deadline 21 January 1961. So that's coming up pretty soon, and we can close down this program and pick up probably crewed orbit. That'll give us a good, healthy bump in money. I don't know. Maybe we should just go ahead and close this down now. Funds paid out 440 total funds. Yeah, basically we're losing out on 40,000 funds. Oh no. Not quite cheaper. Interesting. I think the code doesn't support any of this. Honestly, not much to discuss. Bummer. Rolling out is expensive business. It is. Support the air launch parameters increasing at the same time. You can't trade mass for speed. Okay, I'll let y'all two fight that one out. Let's go ahead and close out this program. Let's pick up crewed orbit. Fast pace gives us 4 years. Man, that's a lot of tech to unlock in 4 years, but the funding's good. A lot of tech. All right, and we're maxed out. 6 slots, 3 programs occupying 6 slots. So there's that. All right, let's go do some moon stuff. Yeah, we rich. Yeah, what's our money look like now? About the same. Who cares? All right. Yeah, let's do some moonshotting. Let's pick up which is better, mass and speed. We're rich. Rock and stone. We're doing okay. We're gonna make money, hopefully. I don't know. The first year of funding on that isn't much better than what we were getting from the satellite contract. And it's, total year or whatever. So basically our funding, at least for the time being, is going to stay mostly the same. Okay, and there's our little guy. Boom, boom, stage, stage, stage. Fairings need to go up one. Separate RCS, and then, oh gosh, I completely forgot how to fly this thing, but we did it at the end of the stream last time. Last week we did a demonstrator. The moon, set as target, launch into plane of target, and engage autopilot. So hopefully, ooh buddy, pipelines and fluids, brother. Single OD 105 drop tank stage put together should work pretty well for a moonshot scale launcher. Oh man, I completely space cadetted on that. You're right. And we could use that bump of efficiency for just trying to do orbit. I was thinking about trying to pull off lunar orbit with this thing, with just an SRB on the front to be super cheese about it, but I guess we'll see. I don't know. Hold on. Let's... Because isn't the Tuffix config is different? Default flight? No, I guess default empty. We'll leave that alone. Sorry. Launch, liftoff. Yay, we're going. Shouldn't need much more tankage tooling. Would need new avionics, more than likely. Might be able to grab an existing avionics tooling and glue it on, though. Hey, it's worth a shot. How much my craft file do I want to throw in a zip folder? All right, I got 2 minutes, hopefully. Let me just real quick go to saves. How not to LCnP ships VAB. No, right click, add to zip file. Boom, boom. And let me pop open Discord here on my desktop right quick. Y'all have to, I don't know, wave your arms real loud if things start to go sideways. This thing doesn't necessarily want true. Go X. Don't RO much. Is the KSC in Titusville? Yes. I mean, Cape Canaveral. Cape Kennedy. However you want to... There's going to be a ballet for sure. Is there? Oh gosh, did I forget to... Oh no. Yeah, 1400 at 0.55. We're at 41 kilometers. We got another 42 seconds left to go. Yeah, it's pitching down on that pretty hardcore. I think you might be right. We might be looking at Dance of the People. Alright, let me drop... No, not... of course. Of course, of course, of course. Okay. I have to go through a bunch of things to find the file I just created because I am a Luddite. Okay. Oh. Yes, I came back just in time to see that staging go great. All right, I have posted the vab.zip to the Discord if anybody wants to go muck around with any of the craft files from this save. Not much of a spin kick, but we're doing something here for sure. That's quite an angle down. All right. Yes, because the real one is you can swap to a lot of launch sites, pick and choose. Yep. You can pretty much choose your launch site wherever you would like it, not wherever you would like it to be, but you can choose from a mass selection of launch sites from which to start your space program from. Like, that's a solid kick stage setup. This is based off of something that I built in my last save that was I think originally intended to be a capture stage for sending things to Venus and Mars. And I wanted to be able to use the baby sergeants wrapped around one of these instead, because these just tend to be better and there's more upgraded, I don't know, there's more things of this profile that fit around, and I did really end up liking the way it looked, so I was like, oh, let's try something similar and see if we can put this little piece of scientific framework on the moon. Are your experiments? They are primed and waiting. Excellent. 105 had a flat lob. Oh boy, unguided kick stages. I know. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a thing. And I mean, hey, it worked in testing. Okay? I'm gonna lean on that pretty hard. Blessed reverse thrusters. RCS. It can't go wrong. Yeah, it's got some nudge thrusters down here too. They're two pair. One for go and one for stop. For overshoot and undershoot. Overshoot was typically the problem last time. So, fingers crossed. Let's see how well it goes. We're still coming up here on orbital insertion, but the 0105 did light. It's saying we're going to have about 500 meters per second of excess delta V, which is fantastic. I'll take it. There's no avionics. You can just say, press. You can't angle. You can't guide it in, but you can press go or hit the brakes, whichever. It's guided by vibes. Spin stable deep space. Yeah, let's say there's no deep space avionics either. We haven't invented those yet. So it's basically, it was going to be unguided no matter what, to a point. Uh-oh. Looks like we had a loss of thrust on the 0105. Status failed. Loss of thrust. What are we kicking out? 24 kilonewtons? Or specific impulse is still looking good. Well, let's hope that margin is enough to cover it. Crap. I got the word! No, it's guided by vibes. It's technically possible to do a moon landing without deep space avionics. Possible, yes. Recommended, no. Is that working in Sims? How's what working? This thing for lunar flyby and lunar impact? You just, I don't know, you get it on course before you leave low Earth? Anything. I don't know, you hope for the best. You do a lot of hoping for the best. Alright, 44 seconds left to burn. The ISP is the same, so we shouldn't be pushing too far past our runtime. The recalculation of our requisite delta V. Yeah, our excess is dwindling, but since it's starting to pitch back down towards the prograde vector, I'm assuming it thinks that we've got enough altitude margin. Recommended not even a little bit, right? They push science core forward, aft control way down the tree. Simply set your RCS to 4 by throttle and then switch the direction of the core it thinks is forwards. Yep. Exactly. Oh, now we're pitching way below prograde. So, okay. You do you, boo-boo. I'm glad you figured this out. As long as that engine runs for the, I don't know, 5-6 seconds, now you're going to pitch back up towards prograde. You just can't sort your life out, can you, buddy? Dude. Uber cheese, and I love it. Agent N used to work, alas. Realism triumphs indeed. Alright, there's our camera change, and engine shutdown. 245 by 146. Hey, it's an orbit. I'll take it. You can go away. Fantastic. Sent guidance. Let's just clear the boards here. Home and transfer. Yep. Create node. There it is. 3129 in 48 minutes. Let's arm RCS and stage ourselves away. Tap. We'll let it face into the node here. Real avionics being defined in part by actually being able to determine its own location. Right? Science Core doesn't know where it is or how fast it's going, so it would be an option we would hide all trajectory information instead. Interesting. So I guess my theory on that is like, well, yes, the core doesn't know where it is or where it's going. Ground teams do. And you've got this antenna. You can determine speed and direction through Doppler examinations of the signal coming off the antenna. And of course, you can determine altitude or distance from multiple points by radar. And you'd be like, oh, well, we know where it is. We know which direction it's heading. We know how fast it's going. Run the math. You know where the moon is the same. And then you can just command it to, fire thruster this way for X amount of seconds. And then recalculate. Order correction burns all you want. You don't know where the fuck you are. Just observe it for hours. Yeah, yes. It can be done. It's not great at distance from the Earth or with great accuracy. Indeed. That is true. Alright, so we have a total of 26 seconds of burn, for which we're going to exact. These numbers are not accurate. We've discussed that at length in previous streams, so we know we're probably not going to undershoot. We can hope, but we'll take a quick save and we'll see what the hell happens. Maybe everything goes all cattywampus, you never know. Although we were able to get it to work a few times, here and there, once or twice. Have the best of the best in math nerds in our program. They could do that in the 50s, easy peasy, on a slide rule, with one arm tied behind their backs. Alright, coming up on 1 minute. Let's let it stabilize here. Make sure we're angled at the node. We are. Okay, good. So, boom, boom, boom. We do not want that interfering with anything. 48 seconds. Let's give her just a couple more, and then we'll light this candle and see where the hell we end up, okay? Replace avionics with radar retro reflector and make sure you're nice and visible to ground control. Indeed. Just paint the whole thing a very, very reflective safety orange. Alright. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, spin it. Fire. Alright, just a little bit of deviation, that's okay. Boom. Beautiful. Love it. Orbital guidance by Mark 1 eyeball. Yay! Go, little buddy, go! Oh, we're walking further away from that node every second, but whoosh! Give it up, stop. Okay, fine. Yes! Well, we shot well clear past the moon, so... Tunk. We don't want to pull ourselves away, we want to turn around. So we will go up here to command, control point reversed, hit the throttle. Let's say we're pushing against this booster thing, which is not really helping our cause, but anyway. Like the classic stock KSP trick of going to the moon by burning prograde at the right instant, based on it crossing the horizon. As long as you go by at the moon, it counts, right? Yeah, totally. Well, it ain't a fly hello. Closing the stream now. Oh. Simhav Hey, look, I'll be very honest with you, Simev and everyone else. If my delta V readings were accurate, like if I could accurately say, okay, I've got 3125 meters per second on this, and it would actually deliver it as such, I would not have put the RCS on here, and I would have just gone for broke without it. But because my delta V readouts were not accurately reflecting the actual delta V that the craft could obtain, this was my only option. And believe me, I'm not exactly happy about it. This stream is not safe for devs. Never was, never will be. Although it does give them key insights onto how to make the game harder for me, which I do appreciate. For the most part. Alright. And so we just let this tuck itself in. Nice and easy. And boop. There we go. Let's come out of map view. Oh, hey, we are separated. I thought, oh, that would be why we're wiggling so badly. No, stop it. I was thinking like, oh, I'll just push the booster into the moon right quick, get rid of it. Control point default. But turns out we don't need to do that, so let's just return this to a flyby status. Oh, I love the wiggle. Yeah, that's, what is exerting thrust on this thing, I wonder? Oh, good. That's good. RCS to disarm. Yeah, look at how our numbers are shifting based on our pivoting. That is interesting. That is very interesting. Alright, electric charge looks pretty good. Part clipping. I don't even think we have much. Oh yeah, our fuel tank is clipped in. But only a little bit, and typically we don't get stuff like this because of that. Or did I just forget to auto strut things? Okay, hey, we can time warp. So let's pull up our contract here for lunar flyby uncrewed, fly by the moon within 5,000 kilometers, collect science from around the moon, and transmit it to KSC. Craft must have power. That shouldn't be too much of an issue. Are we going to have comms range? Center of mass versus center of control point. Yes, we spun stabilized, and yeah, things got a little wonky, but we're trying. All right. When we get up to high, space high, we might see a significant battery drain. But yeah, we have not yet unlocked the digital communications node, so I really wonder when this thing is going to lose comms with Earth. Oh yeah, there's our big battery drain as all of our science starts to get warmed in. Time warp? Yeah, we obviously yes, we can time warp. But yeah, hey, we're getting high space science. We are for a while. We're probably gonna have to shut down an experiment or two at some point, or hopefully they'll, I don't know, run their course. And nope, guess not. All right. Nice. I'll say we're gonna nail this contract. That's the good. All of them are waiting. So what is causing our draw? Is it just our panels not being panely enough? Have they degraded? Oh, broken. Yeah, that's the problem. Oh no. We smashed that panel when we were reverse thrusting into the kick stage. I done forgot about that. Yeah, these are only getting up to about almost 60%, and that one, that should be our moneymaker, is doing next to nothing. Okay, well, it looks like now that our experiments are done, we're sitting pretty neutral on the batteries, but that doesn't do us a whole lot of good. Oh, poo. Looks like we're going to be flying this one again and hopefully not smashing the panel. Nope, there goes our batteries. If we go into high time warp, it dies. Don't think a 2-meter 0105 tank is possible. What when the external pontoon tank? Yeah, if the pontoon's like clamshelled off, it could work. Turn off one of your RCS ports and start it tumbling on another axis to expose the panels better. Ah, good idea. Let's Focus camera unlocked. Right now we're operating on the bottom 2 thrusters, so but with us being so spinny, is that going to be neutralized, or do we just tap, tap, tap? Nothing doing. What happened to our propellant? Are we out? No, we still got plenty. Okay, hold on a second. Might need to min-max the science return. Yeah, fair enough. Around and find out what happens if you crank the Minecraft weird. Won't make it. Or do we just not have enough juice to run the... Or did it turn off both of them? 4x throttle. It needs to be on. RCS control enabled. So if I go to this one... no. Control. RCS enabled. Show actuation, 4x throttle off. Did that switch it for you as well? I didn't think so. No, that one's still on. Why are we getting nothing pinging on the throttle? Oh, it's probably... Is it because we're in high space now? Or is it because we don't have any electric charge? CS controls don't do it. Yeah, peg the throttle up. Control point is default. Control point is forward. Control point is reversed. Still nothing on the throttle there either. We're not time warped. We're just, it feels that way. But yeah, I'm getting no response from throttle control either. Dang it. Yeah, oh well. This mission might be lost, unfortunately. It did radio in a heap of science. We got that going for us. That's what it does. Time for bed, right on Dracool. Thank you so much for the raid. Thank you for hanging out. Much appreciated. Have a good evening. Yeah, all these are waiting, so they're not consuming any power. The antenna is not transmitting anything because there's nothing there to transmit. It's really just that solar panel's borked, and we don't get any response from our derp, derp, derp. Yep, and 4x throttle is on. Oh well. See you next time. Right on. Hopefully. See you next week. Cosmo, maybe unlock the camera for our sake. Yeah, fair. Sorry. I needed it for clicking things. But yeah, no response on throttle. That could have everything to do with our altitude. Just avionics being what they are. But yeah, I don't think we're going to make it to the moon on these batteries, unfortunately. So we'll just hit the time warp. Oh, the batteries are actually charging back up a bit. Okay. Hey, hey, hey. Ding. All right, let's shut down the science before everything drains all of our battery. Let's get down and collect some science from low around the moon while we still have... Yeah, electric charge is going up now. Would you look at that? I'm going to give a wacky drop tank version of the BP4W second stage shot. Awesome. I cannot wait to see this. Yeah, the longer we just let it coast... Oh, no, I guess our angle with the sun maybe got a little bit better. Yeah, as soon as we hit low space, some of this stuff is going to go bonkers. Are we going to hit low space? Now, our periapsis is 608 kilometers. We could have really dialed that in a little bit better, but here we are. Oosh, there's a... We do have to collect something. We're in the dark. Run it. That takes an hour. You're not going to work. Visible imaging takes a lot less time, but a lot more power. Lunar flyby uncrewed. Collect science from the moon and transmit it to KSC. So that's all we have to do to get that contract knocked out. That would be awesome. Hear me, baby? Just keep the lights on. You can do it. One more minute. And then as soon as you're around the far side of the moon, you radio it in. Okay, that one's done. We'll turn on mass spec. That one will take an hour. We might be here for an hour. I don't know if the batteries will last an hour. Probably not. Here's hoping. Fingers crossed, everybody. As soon as we get LOS with Earth, there it is. Oh, we still don't have comms. How are we going to come out of this orbit? Oh, yeah, we'll swing back by and hopefully have enough time to transmit everything home, because we got ahead of ourselves and did this launch before our comms upgrade was ready. So let's just watch the battery voltage drop further and further and further. Oh no. Oh, hey, it's done. Yeah, man, we have such terrible angle with the sun. Crap. Yeah, and we're going to run out of battery before we can radio anything home. Ding. Electric charge at least 1 unit. Maybe we'll get it back before it leaves the solar system in comm range forever. Back to the hibernation cope. Oof. Blame the mass spec. Kill it. Yeah, it's off now. Dang it. We just hope that maybe as the days progress, we have a better angle. Boom! There it is. Electric charge. Contract complete. We radioed it in, and we haven't even left the moon SOI yet. Look at that. Yes! Temp scan. Moon space high. Transmitted. Mass spec. Yes. Yes! There it is. Contract complete. Early comm network. We did that one last week. Lunar flyby uncrewed. Woo! Yes! Gained 75 applicants. Oh, good. More people we can't afford to pay. Hallelujah. Ah, yes. It's a done deal. Names on names. Thank you so much for the follow. All right. That's dink dink, yeah. And as our batteries struggle to maintain any kind of voltage at all, I'll make sure. No, I'm not even gonna try to kick that. And it's gonna get kicked out into interplanetary space to drift aimlessly forever and ever and ever. But hey, mission success. Catch on the flyby. And hello, how's it going, Niman? Good to see you. Welcome. All right, yeah, back to the Space Center. Let's do it again, only this time let's slap into the moon with the exact same spacecraft. How does that sound, everyone? What time we got? 5 o'clock? Awesome. I got maybe 2 hours. Let me check on things right quick. Okay. Yeah, so far so good. Space probe reaches moon. Oh man. If only we had been looking at the actual spacecraft when this contract completed, but hey, we'll take it. Historical information: Luna 1 launched on 4 January 1959, was the first real-life probe to do this, so we are way behind. Likely intended to impact the moon and only got within 5,995 kilometers. Not enough to complete the contract. It was Luna 2 that achieved this, as well as successfully impacting the moon. Yay! I'll take it. Nice. First object around the sun. Space whales cry out in terror. Space probe fails to hit moon. How did you miss it? It's literally the fucking moon. And hey, our tracking station upgrade is about to be complete. That's awesome. We'll profit $5,000 while that's happening. To December 1960. Oh, we have 65 science to spend. Sweet. Yeah. Flyby contract works. We need basic capsules unlocked, which means we need to do human rated EDL. We'll get them working on that one, and then basic capsules for 22. Cha-ching. That should be enough to where we can start doing our crewed program pretty soon. Although I would like basic avionics to open up. And then this one as well. Not enough science. What? Oh, it's 18. Why did I read that as 11? That was real dumb of me. It's 13, so we could finally get 1959 Orbital rocketry underway. Sweet. Now we can start prototyping a crude orbiter off of our tiny one. All right. First lunar impactor. We'll go ahead and pick that one up. Impactor probe must be at least 40 kilograms. Oh, that's interesting. And our impact speed has to be at least 2450. I don't think those will actually be a problem, but we should probably check on that, right? Let me hit edit here on our second moonshot. We'll just take a quick look, make sure. You can change the newspapers, Beastie? Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So our impactor has to be, I forgot already, 40 kilograms? Impactor must be at least 40 kilograms. Let's take a look and see what our impactor actually is. We'll detach all of this. Our mass is 0.058, so that would be 58 kilograms. Need a bigger avionics to get worthwhile drop tank replacement for the second stage. Bummer. All right, and I think the other thing we're gonna do is stretch these panels out just a smidgen. That takes us up to 0.60. We should have the margins to make this work, so we'll just snuggle these in a bit, make that just a little bit more, I don't know, not quite so obvious. Offend Simav's delicate sensibilities. There. And hopefully we can do this without wrecking our rear panel. So we know we got too much delta V. So maybe we just go slightly easier on it. Hey, you. You gonna say hi? No? Okay. Okay, sorry. The little one has decided to join me. Excellent. I don't know. She's watching her phone, so I don't know if that's coming through on the mic or not. I didn't have a monitor loop on, so... sorry? Okay, there she goes. She's got better stuff to do than hang out with Papa. Alright, and... Yep, leave a gap for the Kraken. Do I have the little baby Pioneer SRBs? I don't think I do. Little baby Pioneer SRBs. That's a very good question. I do not believe I do. My SRB research is way behind. LR87. Oh, shit. And the LR91. Yeah, buddy. No, Nike's Tiny Tims. I don't think I have the another Aerojet kick motor. Veneers, Aerojet, another kick motor, and then the Baby Sergeants and the R103 anti-aircraft rocket motors. So, looking like a no, right? Even the CRB knows. I think it's in control and RCS tech somewhere. Oh, interesting. All right, let's save on that. Let's plop our fairings back on. Let's put them in the correct stage. And hit, this is Moonshot 2.1. Save edits. Let's do it. Your escape tower was built out of SRBs that were in the RCS techs. Interesting. Well, what do you know? All right. So Moonshot 2-1 will build. We will duplicate another one because who cares about money? And then, yeah, I guess warp to complete on our tracking station upgrade, since that's the next thing that's going to happen. Yeah, satellites will start. Oh, and then track. Yep. Okay, that was what we were warping to the first time. It just got interrupted. Okie doke, okie doke. Because it weighs like 240 grams. Wow. Handy as a set motor and small corrections thruster. Oh, interesting. Warp to complete. Come on. Yeah, tracking station upgrade complete. Love it. So research coming. Okay, that'll be done. 1961. Oh, it's almost 1961 anyway. And we should probably upgrade our R&D so we can, I mean, these three, and that research will finish up 11/25/61. So that puts our first crewed flight at earliest in very early 62. If we have the rocket, we just have to edit it. And if we have the launch complex built, so many things to do there. How is our integration stuff coming along? All right, you will be, wow, you won't be done until 1962. Ouch, bro, that hurts. Let's go reassign some staff, shall we? Yeah, y'all needs to get those 400 people back on the clock. We're still making money, so let's go ahead and hire in these 75 new applicants and put them to work also. Yep, still making money. Good, good, good. We got good. No one's on the hangar currently, and this one's maxed out. We're going to keep it that way. And still making bank. Sweet. All right. So how does that work for... Okay, good. You will fly now, instead of in 1962, you will fly this upcoming April. I'll take that. So, yeah, I guess we'll warp to complete and do our next moonshot mission, since that's the next thing we have coming up for us anyway. Ding. Start the rollout. That's going to be expensive. Yeah, fine. Sweet. Anything else I need to check on right quick before this stuff goes crazy? I could probably go buy some tooling, although we should wait and save a bunch more money for that anyway. All right, let's get this out to the launch pad. I need to go visit the little cosmonaut's room. I have a 9 to 10 ton existing avionics tooling. Might build a stage around it. Honestly, I don't know if I do. Anything that big would have been on the M52 vehicle, of which you already have a copy. So there's that. All right, I'm going to press the buttons to get this launch underway, and then I'm going to go visit the little cosmonaut's room for about a minute. So what did you use on a bumper rocket? A bumper rocket. Did I use a bumper rocket? I don't believe I did. Could I be wrong? Maybe I'm just misremembering things. Okay, come on, MechJeb, you can go away. Let's go out and select our target. Set as target, launch into plane, and engage. All right. 10 hours. You did skip bumpers straight to the big boys. Yes, kind of. I mean, this generically was the first thing I built that was... I don't know. No, I did. We did sounding rockets, and then I had one or two. I had one that was a RD 100 powered, and then I think I went to the RD 103 after that. And basically, that core became this when the 108s became available. And I've been flying it ever since. It's been just a V2 alike. Yeah, I'll say now, this basic design was the first thing I had that went orbital. Everything else was just like big ol' sounding rockets. So bumper grade avionics is too shit to be worth it. Fair. I think of weight fitting in so far. Alright, I gotta visit little cosmonaut's room. I will be right back, I promise. Alright, I have returned. Interestingly, avionics at primitive aren't much cheaper to tool. That is interesting. No real advantage to using worse avionics except to use existing tooling. Yeah, and I don't know. The mass fraction on avionics is pretty extreme, especially in the lower nodes. Like, they're huge and heavy, which just overbuilt your stuff a lot of extra space tool, so that when it eventually add another 50 tons of control, it doesn't need a resize. Not bad. I think, well, I got in the habit of using a ring for tooling, so that you could just increase or decrease the inner diameter of your ring as you went up in tonnage. And I think for a long time you could get away with not retooling it because the outer diameter and the length stayed the same, and those were the only two parameters that were checked. I don't think that's applicable anymore, but I'm going to have to verify that. But that's originally why I started doing hollow cylinders for all of my avionics parts, at least on booster stuff. Staging, no kickflip, excellent. Solid light on the 0105. Fantastic. And yeah, again, about 500 meters per second of margin, provided, of course, that thing doesn't go all stupid on us. So, yeah, historical too. They're rings, indeed. It is still, unfortunately, the only variable. Same for cones. N1's haters don't like cone tooling. Fair. Alright, God, what was I going to do? I think I was actually going to do another flyby on the launch after this, just because I want to observe at what angle our probe is when we're at our lunar perisaline. Because if we can do lunar orbit just by, stapling one of these guys to the top of this, that'll already be somewhat spin stabilized and achieve lunar orbit that way, wouldn't that be nice? But, yeah, hey, probably not. Avionics tooling cares about tonnage, tech level, and invisible internal service module tank diameter. Interesting. Okay, yeah, so if you increase the volume by decreasing the inner ring diameter, it will trigger a tooling event. Or a need for tooling, I guess is the correct term here. Upgrading while you share the diameter of an old avionics is far cheaper than tooling a new diameter. Oh, does it carry over? I thought basically if you changed avionics type, you were on a new costing tree. I could be very wrong. There's so many intricacies of how all the money in this works that I just don't understand. Let's say, yeah, you could be right. I have no doubt, honestly. Pretty much everyone here in chat knows more about this game than me, and that's why I love y'all being here so much. Oh, really? Again? Shit. What we got? Oh no, and it's performance loss. Yeah, our specific impulse is down by half, and our thrust is down by half. This mission might have just gotten foobarred. Son of a biscuit. You motherfucker. Damn it. Okay, well, hey, we're collecting lots of very interesting flight data. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Yeah. We got to stop at stage 4 in effect, which is our next stage. That's fine. We can try to top some of this off on RCS, but yeah. It's saying we're going to need an extra kilometer per second. I don't think it's going to happen for us, unfortunately. But hey, it looks like the moon might just be just over the horizon from us. Where are we currently? We are here. Moon is there. We're on the ecliptic. We'll let this stage flame out. And then we're going to disengage autopilot, and we're just going to go for broke and see what the hell happens. We'll just breeze right past this whole orbital insertion nonsense. It's not going to work. We're going to fall super duper duper short. Doesn't mean we're not going to try. At least within a tech level. Avionics doesn't care much about diameter for tooling cost. Interesting. Flame out, stage, disengage autopilot, RCS to arm. Please angle to prograde. Yeah, throttle is still set to full. That is excellent. We are still climbing, 30 seconds from apogee. We don't need much, but we're going to... Well, we don't have much, but we'll give it what we can. If we wait for it to fall a little bit, every little bit we wait brings the moon a little closer to our prograde vector. I'm not convinced it cares about physical size, as long as it's such different size that you also get different invisible service module diameter. Interesting. New smaller rocket you're going to use, tooling those small avionics. Or still more expensive than just adding upgrades to your existing stuff. Yeah, that makes sense. Alright, yeah, we're falling. We're not falling too far. We got just a little bit of deliverable we can do with this RCS. We're going to really try to get everything we can out of it, just to see what happens, but we'll kick this spin up here in just a second or two. Well, I mean, as we get closer to draining off these RCS tanks. 197, yeah, we need to go like right meow. So off, and 3, 2, 1, ignition. Boom. Oh, that's a deviation. Yeah, we had a failure on one of our rockets. Oh man, everything that could go possibly terribly, horrendously wrong has. One of our SRBs also had a thrust failure. The wiggle of pain. Yep. 19k tooling versus 11k on upgrades. Wow. Alas. Yep. Our last ditch effort to do anything productive with this mission has failed. Massively. And yeah, we're on the way down, so we're just gonna... I mean, we kicked that apogee up pretty high. Too bad it's behind us, and we're going to come barreling into the atmosphere rather quickly. So let's just go back to the Space Center and lick our wounds. You know, we'll queue up another one, and to nowhere of value it goes. C'est la vie. Agathorn! That's 3 in a row Agathorn's bit us on. Well, I mean, like, our last flight, and then 2 on this flight. He got us. Cheeky bastard. Oh well. These things happen. Okay, good. So we do have another moonshot building. I'm glad we queued up a spare. We'll duplicate it again. And yeah, I guess we'll just keep on keeping on. Got really nothing else we can do. We could edit this Modelo to be another moonshot, and that might take less time than building one. So let's try that right quick. Although I highly doubt it. Anyway, it gives us money to save up for tooling on our M52 vehicle, which is always nice, right? And we'll just go to open. Edited 99.89. I haven't even changed anything yet. You fucker. Moonshot 2.1. Load. What's our percentage shift this time? Calculating. Calculating. Ding, 71%. Oh, that'll only take 11 days to finish. Okay. Dude, sweet. Save edits. That will be much, 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 much quicker to do. So we will do that. Bump you to the top of the order. Work to complete. Yes, we know. I really need to clean up my tracking station. Roll out. All right. Edited booster. Let's go do some magic. We should probably... Oh, you know what we need to do. Right quick. Training. Proficiency. Mercury. Both of you, get on it, because that's going to take a long time, and otherwise I'm going to forget. Launch. All right, let's try this again. Tyrannosaurus Studios, how's it going? Late, and your RP1 had to be re-downloaded. Because you can't bork it. You can't. You can't not bork it? You can't bork it. I'm very lost now. Okay. Attempt 3. Set as target. Launch into plane and engage autopilot. Let's try this again, shall we? You can't not bork it. Okay. I don't know, stop poking it so much. I don't know what to tell you, man. That's rough. Fresh install. It works wonders. I think honestly, when we do start to do crude orbit, we're going to try to put it on this booster. This booster with the 105 and just a Gemini up top with small means of getting home. And we'll just see if we can't clean up the first crude orbital contracts with this thing, so we don't have to invest a lot of money in new stuff. Just a new launch pad that will be crew rated. But I don't know, I think honestly maybe we can upgrade this launch facility, make it crew rated. That'd probably be cheaper than building a second one. But do I really want to operate a crew rated launch facility for something that might have purpose beyond it? Like, I wonder if we put some casters on this, if we can get that deliverable tonnage up to 1.5 tons, maybe 2 tons. I think it's your Steam Kerbal install. Interesting. You can't launch it from the... Or you can launch it from the runway. I don't think you're wrong. It feels wrong. Yark. Yeah, poor dog Frankie. Barks at anything within like a mile. Somebody's walking their dog across the street and down the block. She loses her ish. But, you know, if there's deer in the backyard, she just stares at them. Like, ah, interesting. Although, she did catch a possum the other night, so I have to give her some kind of credit for something. Like, I don't know. I'm a weirdo. I think possums is cute. You know, they don't have rabies. They eat mosquitoes and ticks and stuff. Leave them alone. Made a reusable booster in your old save by launching it from the runway. Interesting. Parachute recovery, or... I think they've kind of ousted all recovery mods from this. Like, I know stage recovery doesn't work anymore, or at least it causes problems, and I don't think there's been scrapyard compatibility in a long time. Parachute, yeah. And then recover it to spaceplane hangar. Reattach payload, fly it again. It's cheese, but understandable. Yep. Alright, coming up on stage 7. Come on, RDO 105. Let's not screw shit up this time. Please, oh please. They can't kill quicks. FMRS should still work. Really? It's just quick saves. They can't kill quick saves. Interesting. Interesting indeed. Put mac on it, like mac and cheese. Sweet. No kickflip here either. The payload. Indeed, yes. A lot of mac and cheese happens in this house. Bearings up. Interesting choice of pitch angle. Whatever, man, you do you. Just as long as you don't screw up again, we'll be fine. Everything will be just fine. Film is an Sorry, I've seriously underestimated our collaborating skills. Welcome back, Simav. Oh no! Even the stock decouplers. The humanity! Wow, the humanity! Alright. For real this time, 105, just do your job. Get us to orbit. And close the stream. Just reading chat. Fair enough. PTSD. I can't watch. There's so much cheese happening here. Some way of tying in the joke about the mac and cheese payload and all the cheesy goodness going on in this stream. It is what it is. How's everyone else's weekend going? Got a kind of ugly pontoon drop tank. Oh, excellent. I look forward to taking a look at this ampersand. I was just thinking, like, if I had to make like a wraparound pontoon thing, either clamshell or, you know, 2, maybe 3 segments that come off, I would still keep like an outer skin shell here that would stay with the core stage on SEP. No, it can't because it's going to hit that. That's why I had to do the fairings. So basically the fairings are going to have to come all the way up to like here-ish. And the pontoons would have to be inside there, and then maybe keep that inner diameter sphere and wrap the pontoons around it. That's probably how I would at least make a first attempt at it. I don't know. I look forward to seeing what you've got. This whole drop tank thing has me very intrigued. If you make your own engines for RP1, someone that's goodish at Blender, absolutely do it and release them to the community. Well, the cheese-related variety is clearly PTCD. Current janky prototype in the craft files channel. Excellent. Sweet. So I don't know if I'll be able to take a look at it tonight, but tomorrow, absolutely. Alright, we've started our pitch back up. We've made it most of the way through the bird, and the RDO 105 has not decided to do anything stupid, so we're looking pretty good. And your own launch site. Do it. Just a screenshot, not the craft file. Oh, excellent. Let me take a look at this. Interesting. You were not wrong. It is ugly. Sorry. Alright, ascent guidance, you can go away. Orbit achieved 203 by 197. Intercept only, no capture, impact flyby. Create node, 3130. Sweet. RCS to arm. Disengage. Tap, tap. Let's give it just a little nudge. And then we will time warp ahead. We should be rotating very slowly. Hopefully we'll be pointed somewhat at the node by the time we get there. Also, does also go about to the full burn time of the engine. Wow, what's the liftoff TWR? You have mech jab up? You do have mech jab up. Let me slow time warp before I really screw myself here. Oh, 1.14 off the pad. Yeah, ouch. I've flown worse. I've done a 1.09 in my 1.1.3 save, so... Alright, let's tell this to point at the node before we run out of time here. Sticking to the 4-ish minutes of the existing stage, I guess, is what you should try. I mean, maybe. You can probably optimize it a little bit past that. It does have trouble keeping its nose into the wind at lower altitude, which is why we've got the max Q or the delta Q at like 1400. On some launches for this thing, I had to go down to like 1000. So if it starts to get wiggled or wants to do kick flips, we've got a little bit more wiggle room on both of those factors that we can play with a bit. Is it a bad idea to make RP1 compatible? RP1 compatible? Compatibility? With test light configs. No, I think if you're going to make some engines, you should definitely make them RB1 compatible with test light configs. Let's play Saturn V. Plenty of low TWR for everyone. Doesn't actually produce thrust attitude control until it ditches the drop tanks. No, fair amount of work for sure. Indeed. Alright, are we stable? Are we still moving? Nope, locked into the node. Let's go to the moon. Please. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Slow this down just a smidgen. Alright, we're going to light it a little early. No, we lit it pretty much on cue last time and it did fine. Alright, make sure we're still into the node. Let's turn that off. We'll light it 10 seconds, why not? People don't usually use test light anymore. Yeah, I'm using test flight because I want full failures to compensate for starting with 500,000 funds. Alright, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, spin it. Ignition. Okay, good light. All the baby sergeants have fired. Get ready to clear. Boom, there we go. Minimum deviation means we're going to way overshoot the moon. So, let's just say Monster is making a bunch of British engines for very specific goals. Fair. Just imagine FAK style RP1 series, but everyone has to make their own engines. I mean, I don't know. There has to be some rules around that, or people are basically just going to go way the hell overboard. Alright, and another 20. Wow. Yeah. Overshot by just a smidge there. Alright, Katunk. And RCS is still armed. We are off to the side. That's good. No, not avionics. Command. Control point reversed. Focus view. So, what motors are those? Not baby sergeants. Yes, the outer casing, the outer wrapping on this two-stage kick. The outside was 10 baby sergeants. Must use tech from the era. Trust me, when you're telling people who can build engines or write configs for them to limit their stuff, you gotta be super duper duper specific. What do you mean my 9000 ISP storable fuel engine isn't realistic? It's accurate for the era of science fiction. Like, the Russians were experimenting with full flow, closed cycle hydrolocks for years. I know they never got it right, but they're not me, and if I was there, I would have gotten it right. And there's no reason this Hydrolox engine shouldn't have 430 seconds at sea level and 450 in a vacuum. That's just the way things are. It's just custom, right? Okay, I hope we have enough fuel to actually affect this impact. Because we actually want to hit the moon like right over here in broad daylight, because that side will be facing Earth more when we get there. We'd like to be able to see our impending doom. Slap, there we go. And we'd like to hit it as hard as possible. Boom. No, cannot delete maneuver. Control is locked. Alright, so we should be coming in smack right into the middle of the moon. Looks like our angle to the sun is okay-ish. Is our bottom panel broken? It is not, and it's holding at about steady 40%. These are getting upwards of almost 90. That's excellent. So we should have plenty of battery charge to work with. Yep, we are full. Let's take a quick save and let's follow this thing on out to the moon. Oh, yep, I will honor Tyrannosaurus' quick save also. Yeah, 1 million ISPs. Engine with liquid fuel throttle, right. Read about Aldebaran in a 50s magazine making Project Orion engines in 1951 start notes. So yeah, you're gonna need like an out-to-sea launch facility to do any of that. Yeah, I forgot to check our science is on. Yes, it is. I don't know how much we're actually gonna get from this, but let's check our lunar impactor contract. Yeah, at least 40 kilograms, impact the speed at a speed of at least 2450 meters per second. Hopefully won't be a problem. Let's see if we've got any room to gather science on the way. Did you break the solar panel this time? I did not. It is still functional, thank goodness. Of course, we've already got all the science that we're going to be able to get. Well, no, we've got some low moon science that we could possibly pick up, but I don't know if it's going to radio it in time. Because by the time you get low moon and you're moving at the ground, I mean, low moon is like, what, below 100 kilometers? And, 2.5 kilometers per second bare minimum, you're gonna truck through that distance pretty quick. I don't know if you're actually gonna have time to whoa! Hello! Yeah, wow, running and plop. 31, no, that wasn't our speed. Surface speed 2480, bow. Lunar impactor contract complete. That snuck the hell up on us. I was not prepared for that eventuality. Moon jump scare, right? Oh, that really, really, really snuck the hell up on me. Oh, hey, and we belted right into the side of a hill. Perfect. And it looks like we maintained comms the whole time. Don't think we got any science out of it. Let's take a quick look-see. There it is. Oh no, we did. We got 16.2 science to spend. That's pretty awesome. Alright, no, not revert flight. Let's just go back to the Space Center. Mission accomplished. Sweet. We hit 2 checkboxes today, and we got an hour left. Dude, what are we gonna... Should we try for lunar orbit via SRB insertion? Moon appeared. Ah, where did that come from? Thermo. Hey, cool. We actually got a nice shot this time. The probe from the BP4W Moonshot 2-1 has crashed into the moon, kicking up moon dust that will hint at the internal composition of our closest neighbor. Humanity has literally touched another world. Anyone who looks up at the moon can now see it as not something entirely alien, but as the foremost frontier of exploration into the universe. First real probe to do this was Luna 2 on 13 September 1959 by the Soviet Union, as well as scientific instruments that carry 2 hollow spheres stamped all over with USSR, September 1959. They broke apart on impact, scattering the message across the surface, in theory. Lunar orbit via runway. Images of an explosion. Oh, you lucky bastard. It went by so fast. That was the last moment it could find. Right on, Lucy. Have a good evening. See you next time. Alright, let's go edit this guy and see if we can't just stack a little. I mean, what do we need to capture into a super loose orbit of the moon? Oh, I bet you it has orbital requirements. Like our periapsis has to be above or below something. I should have checked that first. X-plane. I think we wrapped up our X-plane program. We did that. We went to space in an airplane. Alright. Moonshot 2-1. Let's update this title to Moonshot 2-2. Save. Now let's get started. So, let's assume for a second we can... Alright, hold on 1 second. I need to make a note of this. 13,586 is our total deliverable in theoretical delta V. Yeah, here's the problem. 63.871 vessel mass, 63.119 vessel mass. Not so much. So, in theory, no, I don't want to, but I do want them locked at 90. If we stack one of these on here, center it, it says that's 212 meters per second. I mean, yes, it's going in the wrongiest of wrong ways, but you know, hey, did the contract actually take? Yeah, we completed the lunar impactor contract. Ironically, you changed your newspaper to don't forget to cheat complete it because it never takes for some reason or another. Oh, interesting. I feel like I should offset the antenna or use 2 of these. I think we'll switch to 2. Was our tonnage beforehand was like 0.06, and this will take us up to 0.09. So that's a 1/3 increase. Nope, can't go that far in, so we'll just nudge and nudge. And I think the other thing we can do is get rid of this solar panel because it's basically useless right there. I think honestly a time warp issue, fair enough. It jumps up on you quick. Well, under 50 times speed, right? Why not do a 1-day moon landing? Oh wait, what? No way in hell I can land on the moon in 1 day. I mean, honestly, one of the things I enjoy a lot in this early game stuff is doing the uncrewed lunar lander stuff and basically cavemanning it. Alright, so that gives us 386. That might not be enough, but I think we'll sim for it. Just test it out and see what we can figure out here. Gap for the Kraken. Alright, and then y'all also need to be in your own stage. There we go. 13,405. So we went down 183 meters per second, which means we might not actually be able to hit the moon anymore. And that kind of sucks. Hit save. Let's run a sim. Let's just see where we end up. That's the best way to suss this out. And if we need to optimize to get a little more delta V, well, Ampersand's working on it right now. So we'll put all the we'll put all the heavy lifting out on Ampersand. Get to work, buddy. Kraken drive. Oh gosh, no. So tempted to go airbag lander, but propulsive landing dragged you back. Right. Be strong. Do what I failed to. Yeet airbags to the moon. We haven't invented airbags yet, have we? And you still need to like slow way the F down. I mean, you're talking like you got about 3 kilometers per second of speed you need to bleed off. I think the impact tolerance of the airbags is what? Somewhere like 50 or 80 meters per second. Can't do much for what's above that, though. I'm fairly confident I can give you at least a bit more on that second stage. Yeah. Well, I'll say, that's the thing. If, like, the deliverable mass to orbit increases, we can strap another baby sergeant onto that outer ring. Like, if our tonnage to orbit goes up, our deliverable to the moon goes up also. Still need to get fuel out there. You get 200 meters per second free. Oh, is that the impact? 200 meters per second? Ask if you can mess with FAK for one launch. It'd be funny. No one there is letting me touch their save file. Literally no one. I'll say, in my last playthrough, I used the Gamma 2 as my terminal braking stage engine. Like, yeah, I think it was about one and a quarter ton, I think. We flung it out to the moon, and then it had a Gamma 2 that you would light within like 30 seconds of it hitting the surface. And it would just slam on the brakes, deliver like 2,800 meters per second of delta V in about 25 seconds. And then you just do the final descent on a 1 kilonewton thruster. You've got like 200 meters per second left to do if you timed it right, which it took me a little while to get the timing down, but when it worked, like, oh man, that was probably the best feeling I've had in this game in a very long time, was getting that stupid lander to work. Sneak the changes into the saves. Just, here's this email, just copy it in your KSP folder. Don't worry about what it is. It's okay, it's fine. Yeah, just press overwrite all. It'll be okay. N9, I promise. I promise. I'm just having to wait on the single precious layer of MLI to get your liquid oxygen out there, right? So that's... I think it was Ampersand actually suggested using the Gamma 2 because it doesn't need pressurized tanks. It uses HTP and kerosene, so it's all storable propellants. And, you know, if you've got some data on it, which we do, we were using it for a while here, it's a pretty good engine. It gets the job done. But yeah, you gotta time it. Gotta consider the spool up time, which is like 2.25 seconds or something like that. Had storable first state engines, but nothing upper. Gamma is the way. I think we'll probably try to build something similar to that in this save. Gamma 2 isn't great, but it's reliable and it works, exactly. It was the engine we needed when we needed it. I used the Gamma 2 a lot in my last playthrough. I leaned on that thing pretty heavily. And now, you know what? Like, it didn't fail that much. Okay, so with our increased payload, our margin here on insertion to orbit is, it might be gone by the time we get there. But you know, hey, that's okay. That means we know what our deliverable to orbit is as we stand, which I guess we don't know because I didn't check the tonnage of the VAB. Not that it would have been quite all that accurate anyway, but yeah, here we go. Staging, ignition, solid light, 105 is go. No kick spin. Looking good. Ended up using the AJ-1037 as a moon landing braking engine once. Oh god. How many times did that fail? Quick save dummy. Quick saving. Sorry, Tyrannosaurus. It is too many Alt F4s. Goodbye. Sink the Titanic. Alright. Optimizer Watchdog timeout. Yeah, your pitch is a little off there, Mecky Jeb. What are you doing, bro? I forgot to put the fairings in their own stage yet again. They should have been gone a long time ago. Tink, yeah, there goes our margin. You motherfucker. You're gonna stop at stage 5? Is it... Lord help you. If you fire those SRBs, you... What the fuck is going on? Ah, there, we figured it out. We're back. We have margin now. Almost 400 meters per second of margin. Might make this work. Interesting. Oh, I'm quite curious. Alright, if this sim works, we're going to add this to the build queue, and I'll go through quickly and show you my idea for the, kind of like the clamshell drop tanks on this thing. Won't build much, but I can show you, I don't know, I guess how I envision it, somewhat. They're going to be weird looking, though, so just be aware. It's going to be pretty weird. There's a lot of fuel wrapped up in this stage. May actually have to... I mean, this is the avionics for this stage. That can be relocated and give us a little more... Yeah, we can resize the avionics, make them part of the structure, and have the fairing sit on top of that. And then this all moves down. No, that doesn't buy us any extra length, because the length is going to be between the aeroshell and the bottom of the 010, or the top edge of the 0105s, I guess, with 4 sections that would split off, dividing evenly between the vignerid. The point you in the correct. Okay, all right. I have quick saved again. I hit F5. We're under acceleration, so we can't actually quick save, but we will. Probably. Yeah, no, anyway, I have an idea on how to maybe implement this and have it not go past the 2-meter diameter of the primary. And we'll... Basically, the fairing that was below this stage will extend up and come to basically where the top of this ring is. I'll show you here in a minute. The problem is 2-meter diameter decoupler won't fit over the veneers. That is true. I don't think the tanks are going to have to be attached via the side mount ones. Because, yeah, if it's 2 meters, you've got basically 0 depth to work with to clear the veneers, so that they're going to have to come off the sides like traditional strap-on boosters. Alright, there's flame out. We are in orbit. Fantastic. Alright, let's plot for the... Oh, I don't even have to do that. I just have to hit create node. Boom, there we go. RCS to ARM. Stage it out. Bring us... Oh, insufficient avionics, you dumb motherfucker. You absolute dummy. Fuck me. Of course I forgot to take a look at that. Of course I did. Biscuits. There's the node. What can we do to bleed off? No, those aren't set to respond with throttle. And by the fuel line part. At least last time we tried this, the game doesn't handle drop tanks unless they're attached by stack decoupler. Oh, interesting. Or by the fuel line part. Scheiße. Okay. I may have a workaround for that. It basically involves putting a structural square somewhere on the side and then attaching a stack decoupler to that, and then you just orient the stack decoupler to push, you know, away from the main craft, and also so that it decouples from, like, so the ring decoupler stays with it. And you build and clip, for sim's sake. Infinite, yeah. Let's just turn on infinite electricity. Get our avionics back. Point to the node, please. That does work with those sideways stacked decouplers. Also, let it ditch the tanks as soon as it has an opportunity. Like MechJeb actually recognizes them, so it will decouple them on its own. If those sideways stacked decouplers are themselves attached to a correctly mounted stacked decoupler, it will... Okay. Now it's getting very complicated. Interesting. It used to be the side decouplers had fuel pass-through also. I guess that's not the case anymore. 1 second. Okay, I have returned. All right, let's just run through the rest of the sim real quick so we can start poking at that idea and see what we can't suss out a little. I think we actually can wedge one more baby sergeant onto this ring should we need it. It looks like we've got 3062 meters per second. So just based on these numbers, which these numbers are always wrong, we're still going to fall short. But that's what we're here to see. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 50 seconds remaining. Set throttle to full. We'll let this try to pick up some of the slack. Not a whole lot. We will also hit off and get ready for our spin stabilization move in about 20 seconds. Now, like the fuel pass-through works, but MechJeb will automatically eject radial decoupler attached tanks as soon as it's allowed to, whether they're full or not. Oh, interesting. Okay, so if you use the radial decouplers, MechJeb spits them out. If you use the stack decouplers, it doesn't. And they're sometimes sideways-ish. Alright, 3, 2, 1, spin it. And ba-boom! Very little deviation here. Boom. A little bit more. But okay. And yeah, maybe we can clean this up on RCS, although I doubt it. We're already looking at being about 200 meters per second shy. So yeah, we will probably need to add an extra kick motor. Maybe 2 to this assembly, if this is going to work. And 310 meters per second shy. Yeah, wow. We made it to here. That's awesome. Stage it. Fizz warp through this. We don't have 300 meters per second in this stage. We had barely 100 meters per second in this stage before we added the orbital insertion motors. Tragedy. An experiment. I do wonder how close we might get. Man. Okay. Now our Molina orbit thing will not be ready anytime soon, so I don't know if we're going to get around to that or not. Okay. So maybe we had 200 meters per second before, and now we've got roughly 100-ish. Well, we were at 315, something like that, maybe. Working it down, and oh yeah, I was gonna say, oh, that's a lot more delta V than we thought it would be. It's because we drained off all of the HDP. Okay, so now we know. Revert flight to vehicle assembly. That will not make it to the moon, no matter how much we really want it to. That's a no-go. Okay, so it gets weirder. Oh, does it? This should be good. Working on a prototype. Excellent. I do like. Alright, let me establish our maximum viable diameter right quick. By taking this outer 1.7, 1.8 looks to be about it. So we got 1.8 maximum outer diameter. currently. That should be... Is that the whole bottom assembly minus the engine? That should include the engine. Alright, let me detach this. Plop. Let me open this up. Plop. You are all of the above, so let's get that tank out. Let's get that tank out. Okay. You've simply made the fairing base wider without making the fairings wider. Interesting, I think. Alright, let me go to structural. Let me very quickly kind of very loosely demonstrate what I was thinking about here. So length, and then outer goes to 2 meter. The inner goes to 1.6, 1.7. We'll reattach this little guy and tuck it in. What is your outer diameter? Is 1.6. So that leaves like a 200 millimeter spacing or something. So the fairings are the same size shape, but the fairing base is now outside of them instead of inside of them and can be moved above the veneers. Interesting. How terrible does it look, though? Have you ever seen the Cursed Atlas, the LR-105 sustainer down a massive hollow tube in the middle? Oh my god, no, but I need to. You also have 1.4 meter balloons tooled. Mildly ugly. Okie dokie. So I do wonder. Alright, so this will basically sit something like this. We can shorten this diameter by a bunch because we're going to basically bury that in there. And your extra height will go up to here. Not quite up to there, but you see the point here. Ta-da, like so. And we'll probably make that a little skinnier, but I no, not fuel tanks. Structural is what I need, I guess. So let me breeze right past it 5 or 6 times, and we'll go for 4 of them attached here. Lock to 90. 2, 3, 4. Rotate. For fuck's sake, buddy. There. Christ's sake. Alright, let me just suss this out for a second. Now, let's go up to 100 by nothing. Okay. Just have a cursed 105 long tube that sits between the veneers and the engine. God. Alright, and then we go up to coupling, we get out our proc decoupler, we attach it to the bottom like so. Yeah, we just make it teeny tiny as we teeny tiny can, and then we build our fuel tanks onto that, which I guess we'll go with conventionals. We'll attach the first ones like so. We'll make sure we turn on enable crossfeed. Nope, not you. We'll go to fillet cylinder, take the diameter down to, what did we decide we had left? 0.2-ish. And adjust the length out to match our available. Okay, and now we can tuck this whole assembly in like so. Not quite like so, but something similar. Now, before we do that, first we need to, so right now that's going to eject from this end, and no, it's top node's attached there, I think. I don't know, it doesn't matter if it leaves or stays currently, that's not the point, but we want it to push out into the side, so we'll flip this up 90 and then flip these guys down like that. And then we'll tuck the tanks up to the center kinda, like that. And then move these down and in. Basically, imagine that these are not sticking out like that, but are actually kind of hidden. Now we can take that length up one, maybe two more. Okay. Screenshot your current prototypes of the channel. Can you attach the tanks radially to the decoupler? You should be able to, but I guess my plan was to just get the one mounted center, and then once we have the tank size and diameter figured out, was to duplicate out like so. I mean, and then curve them along the shape of the inner. You can attach them radially. Having them be correct node attached and then shifted around. Okay. And then yeah, so we have all these tanks now. That's probably about the right count. And then we come out here, and how many tanks do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What's 7 times 4? Somebody help me out here. That's 1428. So let me see if I'm right on this. We've got 7 times 4, 28. 28 divided by 360 degrees in a circle is 0.07. So each one is, we'll start with you, and we'll switch this to 5, and we'll go 1 click for 5, and then 6, 7. Probably was more than that. We'll come out here and repeat the process. This is in theory. 1 click for 5. Let's just round to 5 and see if that doesn't just help us out a bunch. 1 click for 5. 1 click for 5. 1 click for 5. Was that 2? I don't know. Is this local? Let's switch to absolute. That'll take it back to the nearest 5-degree rotation. I think 28. I think there's an insane way of doing this. I can't think of a better one, but that doesn't make it not insane. It is most definitely insane. I 100% can confirm. Most definitely insane. So we're just gonna keep tipping these in just a little bit more. We'll give them all just more than their 7 degrees required or whatever, but this also will make everything uniform. And it actually looks like it's conforming to the circle pretty well. Our diameter might be off, but who cares? Let's tuck them in and see how well they fit. And let me lock that out to nothing, and then whoop, we are all so close. There's, which 2 are those that are not staying with it? Oh, of course, it's the outer 2 fingers, so they're not quite rotated well enough to fit. So drop that down to 5 again, and click, and click. Let's see if that fits without interfering in things too much. But yeah, so this was my idea, that and of course I didn't put it on the soft curve or the 0 whatever the hell, so now everything is all effed up. There we go. And so these tanks will drop away, probably through rocket assist or whatever, or they'll just bounce off that bottom frame. We'll probably adjust the bottom frame to tuck in and define the inner diameter of the drop tanks, and then they'll fly away. So yeah, this was the idea I was thinking about during flight. And obviously it's probably not going to actually work because they're clipping in. I don't know how much room we have before we start hitting the... yeah, we're already clipped into the inside of the tank. So I would probably make this tank a little skinnier Let's take that diameter in a bit. Yeah, that gives us a little more room to work with. There we go. Make sure that you add to the AV good call. Thank you, Tyrannosaurus. Alright, I think we got a lower part count set up. We ended up going to a 0.8 meter core tank that's much longer, allowing 42 centimeter drop tanks instead of 20 centimeter ones. Interesting. What is the inline fairing going to play nice with these? Probably not. This was just a rough and tumble idea. I kind of wanted to just, I don't know, demonstrate, but I don't think the final version is actually going to do this. I just wanted to kind of think about it, but that's something that I'm going to have to put a lot more effort into. Let me alter this to 2.5 beta. Save. And now let me hit cancel edits. Got something similar going on you think will work. Awesome. Yeah, let's say this might be a project that I'd poke around at over the week. And Ampersand, you're more than welcome to jump in and try to win the goal. I'll do the assist, I guess. We'll see how it shakes out. But yeah, I got about 20 minutes left to stream, so I'm trying to figure out what we can do that's worth accomplishing. This will be done in April. It is currently January. I don't think we have much else we can knock out before then, other than purchasing tooling. You got your decouplers set up wrong, but I think it'll work. See the screenshot gladly. Let me close out my calculator. Oh, dude, yes. Alright, I can dig that. I'll tell you, I'm going to play with that truss piece a bit to try to maximize the internal volume of that fairing. And I had the fairing below the 0105 stage because, I don't know, imparting torque or something, it just made things weird, which is why I went below with it and had the set motors attached to it, to the ring. As you see when that separates, like the ullage motors are attached to that fairing ring. It ullages the motor, lets it light, and then the side fairings fly off, and the ring falls away because it's below the verniers, or whatever. It just easily works. You can simplify this further and not have an interstage. Oh, interesting. I do look forward to that. All right. We got 27, which is not enough to buy the fairing or the tooling that I wanted. But no, it looks like our moonshot will one of our moonshots will be done before our big launcher. Simply, I can simplify this further and not have an interstage. Just have the one fairing. Just ditch the payload fairing and drop tanks at the same time. Interesting. Okay. We can do Lunar Impactor again. That'll give us quite a bit of rep. A series of 2 contracts, 0 have been completed. Yeah, we know we can do this, and we know we can do this with what we have, so we might as well take it just to get the bump. Reach orbital speed, and this is with a crewable vessel that doesn't have crew in it. Right? Recover a craft from orbital velocity descent. Huh. Do we have to have a crewed capsule in this just without a crew in it, or is this just a re-entry tester? Because, man, I will work on a re-entry tester. That'll be pretty easy to build together. Let's go ahead and pick up this contract, and we'll probably do, I don't know, we'll see what happens as far as our next couple of minutes. We can do a working version tonight or tomorrow. Awesome. Engineering classes start at the end of the month. You have to stop providing free bad ideas at such a high rate. Well, I appreciate you donating some of your free time to us. I appreciate it greatly, Ampersand. Usually stick an advanced biocan dog in it. Okay, yeah. I think we can definitely figure that out. Probably, man, do I want to do the lunar impactor again, or do I want to try to build stuff? Do we have heat shields? We got 16 science we can unlock. Maybe we should do the lunar flyby again? No, yeah, human rated EDL is being researched. Stability would be nice. Agena D, the MC4 610s, and the KDU 414s. That's 18 out of our price range. Other than that, I think SRBs are the only other thing we can afford. The casters. There's the Pioneer adjustment motor. Ooh, or we can get 1960 orbital rocketry. Which 405, the 215, the 216, and the 109. Oh, snap. EJ10 mid, the Junos, the 107, 0110. Upper stage Kerlocks, R9, RCBM used on Malenia, Voskhod, Vos, and Soyuz. The 0110, Vignay. Need to turn down your decoupler vigor. It spun me. Oh, the separation worked. Dude, that's awesome. Yes. How much do I really want to upgrade my fleet of launchers? Which is what happens when we get that node. Stability, yeah, none of that really does me any good, but... Yeah, there's the RD-58. That is legit good engine. Legit good. You know what? I think we're... I cannot decide, but I totally want early landing sometime soon. Gemini Heat Shield would be great. That's going to require... That's the only requirement. Never mind. Stability. How soon until we get... Oh yeah, that's way up here when we get better RCS. Orbital rocketry or stability. Let's do orbital rocketry. The sooner we get the better engines, the more science we can ultimately gather. That's just the nature of the beast. Huh. You know what's really funny is our BP4W, the Corona. Before I added a bunch of dumb shit to it, that was going to orbital speeds and returning a film canister. I can just build one of those and pull off all the extra dumb shit I parked on it, and we can complete that contract. Intermediate RCS nodes aren't worth much. The faster you get Aerozine and N204, like so much better possible. Like, I don't know, you're much more likely to land on Mars with an Aerozine thruster. Yeah, Corona will work. It's not Corona, it's Modelo. We're not getting sued. Sorry. Oof. Alright, let me open. Where was it? Modelo. Load. Generally leave off unlocking the intermediate nodes until I can zoom straight to Aerozine. Which I realize is, no, that makes perfect sense to me, honestly. Alright, 9722. Like, that should be enough Delta V, but we know it's not because I added a bunch of dumbass shit to it. We'll leave the thruster fuel alone. Let's pull off the... Do I have to pull off the additional avionics core, or can I upgrade it? I cannot upgrade it. You know what I should have done is just taken this payload and strapped it to the upgraded booster, because this is the one, if I remember... Yeah, running the gamma down here. So you know what needs to happen. Let me go to open. Don't save. Let's pull out the new booster, which is... We'll go Moonshot 2-1, load. There's a requirement now. Fly your capsule first unmanned. Yep. Imagine there's probably a doggo inside. On top of the other bio returns, there's quite a bit of prep missions before you can do first. Yeah, I know you have to do the first tester thing, like you have to do a test orbit or whatever. Alright, so that is everything below there. Let's make this into a subassembly. Subassembly, boom, drop you here, and this is our BP4W. We'll call this the B1A variant. Save, and then open, don't save. Let's pull out Modelo, load. Can you send a nuke to the moon? Nuclear weapons were never invented here. Okay, and so then we pull this off, and we basically detach from here down, and we go to our subassemblies, pull out our updated BP4W, and boop, and there we go. 1047. Instant, more Delta V. We are going to tuck this down a little bit. Oh, hey, we're technically inside the ring there, so that actually works, I think. Just wonder what our tonnage is. Should we just sim it and decide from there, or should we get it? No, come on, really? That's obviously what I wanted to click. I'm wondering if all of this weighs less than that big stack of SRBs we had, but this should be able to make it to orbit. Let's just look at the ding-dang avionics, bro. So we need you on there, we need to pin you open, we need to put these fairings back on, because y'all still be there. Oh, good. That's, yes. Fairing auto shape on, clink pow. That makes your actual tonnage, vessel mass 5.779. Our control tonnage is 6 tons. We are golden. How much did our Delta V get hurt in that? Now we're down to 9677. Ooh, buddy. Alright. What can we do to shave that just a smidgen? Man, we really can't come down too much further on those fairings because of those solar panels. Nothing says we have to actually stay up there for very long, but we might as well maximize our science. This is our Modelo 2A. Save. Alright. Nope. You make an Orion drive. Somebody has. There's a part for it out there somewhere. Don't think it's got RO configs, however. Alright, let's run a quick sim. Save. Simulate. Simulate. We'll run a quick sim. See if this will get to a, I don't know, we'll try for a 60-degree orbit, and if it does, we can take that orbital velocity contract and knock that out whilst man, do we want to keep the film canister? We already did the bio stuff, I think. No, we didn't do the advanced biological, did we? Not all the way, because I think you have to fly that a bunch of times on a suborbital to get anything out of it. We'll look into that. I think there's still some film camera data we can get. We'll give it a shot. We'll see what we can do here, and we'll try to do it in time warp if we can. Ascent guidance, please. Go away. 200 by 200 inclination. Let's go for 65. Yeah, right. And staging check. Boom, boom. No. You go, and then you go. Where's ullage motors? You guys go at the same time, and then when you go, and that is the interstage fairing, so you go with that, and then the fairings can go, and then that should be stage sep, and RCS engage, and then there's jettison of the payload, jettison of the aeroshell, jettison aeroshell retros, and parachute. Cool. Alright. More flight's good. Many dogs to space. Preliminarily, the drop tank setup will have about 600 meters per second left on LEO with this payload. Interesting. Yeah, this will work. Nice. Dude, that was fast. Engage autopilot, ignition. Yeah, 1400, 0.55. We should still be good on that, even though we're going to a much lower orbit. Let's fizz warp through this as best we can. Alright. Yep, and lean it on in. Go, baby, go. Let's just run this as a quick test. It turns out we've been fulfilling the orbital speed contract for a while now. We're just doing it on beryllium heat sink. Oh, I forgot to remove... No, hopefully we won't have to remove the extra avionics, although I'm really not sure. What's anybody got? Expect an improved version with less jank. Okay. I will hold off on implementation until you give the green light. Well, no, I guess I should have been spending this time figuring out what kind of mass to TLI we need in order to do that super janky orbital insertion. And then, you know, we work back. Heatsink is pain. Just bring enough delta V to reverse your orbit. I'll say it has worked pretty well. The trick is you just don't make it responsible for slowing down a lot of mass. You make the... because the way this is set up, and I guess we'll see it better once the fairings come off, which will be soon to soonish. Staging, ignition. I have a stop at stage 5. Plunk. Are you tumbling or are you steering? We don't know. And then fairing sep. Okay, that looked like an interesting kick of torque. I think the solar panels might have gotten stuck on it. Yeah, basically this is our heat shield, and it just returns some avionics that are up here above the film canister. So we turn the film on, which I should have done already. Click, there we go, waiting. And then when it's done, we transfer all the data into the avionics unit up here and return just the avionics unit. And this thing has a huge kick behind it, so it slows it down by a large chunk when it comes time to do so. So yeah, it looks like we're going to have plenty of delta V left over for slowing our asses down, and then we're pretty certain this thing will do re-entry. Well, you know, it's worked before. Why wouldn't it work again? Although if we can upgrade this heat shield, maybe we should. It looks like we've got the margin on our mass, so we can make it work. It's probably worthwhile. Dunno. Perhaps isn't. I guess, is flying the film canister actually worthwhile is the question. Yeah, they're running, waiting. Now, did we finish that biome off, or did we just skip past it again? The world may never know. And with these itty-bitty little sad solar panels, I don't really know what our endurance on this thing actually is. Yep, coming up on orbital insertion. Doop, 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 and ding, there she is. We are in orbit with, yeah, geez, 700 meters per second remaining. That is awesome. RCS to arms, stage it, pull us away. We'll angle into the sun when there's a sun to be angled to. Running, running. Oh yeah, there's lots of data up here we can still get. Sweet. So that'll clean up that one. One dink, 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 dink. Alright, and let's lock this in. We don't have comms. Of course we don't have comms. Let's get somewhere where we do have comms. There we go. Advanced. Sun. We have to pick the correct side. Back. Execute. Nope, wasn't that one. Interstage and true fairing bases handle things differently. You can't make it work the same with a proper fairing. Oh, interesting. Nope. Ah, jeez. I hit all the buttons so incredibly wrongly. Kill rotation. Come on, baby, get there. 90 whatever percent is good. Yeah, 90, that's good. Good enough, good enough, good enough. The true fairing forces the fairing to bend out to meet the base. Oh, interesting. Huh. Alright, let's check for endurance. Are you spinning away from the sun, you jackass? Every time I just want to test to go quickly, everything goes wrong. Hey, there's a whole biome we haven't cleared. We're at 0.4 of 5.5. I guess we just haven't flown over it nearly enough, but yeah, our last few tests on this thing didn't even reach orbit, so they got very little data. And why are you... You know what? We're just going to let you spin. Because why not? Yep, there's another one, and another one. It's almost empty. Huh? That's not us. I don't care. Waiting. We're just gonna roll it until it says full, I guess, or until our batteries start to go. Depleted. Yep. Alright, and so now we transfer all the data to here. Transfer data here. Cool. Angle to orbit retrograde. I wonder how much fuel we have left. Looks like plenty. Thereby forcing nominal tooling diameter to be different. Interesting. Huh. That's interesting. Alright, peg the throttle. Oh, you dummy. I grazed the spacebar. But hey, look, our periapsis is 43 kilometers. Too bad we'll be facing the wrong way when we get there. Ay, ay, ay. Where's down? Now, down is this swampy pit of black nothingness that I cannot see. Looks like we're facing basically straight down. I can't tell what our direction of travel is, but whatever. Revert to VAB. I think we're good with this test. Your prototypes in the craft files. Awesome. Thank you. I say, if you still plan on refining it some more, I'll wait until you give the green light before I start poking at it. Amp edit. Nice. But, alright. Save. Yeah, LC orbiting. Do I have to upgrade my facility to make this work? Why do I have a tooling cost here? And what's this unlock? Oh, unlock credit is just stuff I have sitting around. Got it. Alright, let's go ahead and hit tool all. Oh, it's just the fairings. Fine. Purchase all tooling. I want to build these as quickly as possible. And add to build list. Integration list added. Yay! Let's do 2 of them just to make sure. There we go. Current staging setup appears to explode the drop tanks instead of dropping them. Hey, whatever works. Same thing as we entered before, indeed. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. Hey, they're not attached. Right, they're not attached anymore. Isn't that what really matters? Okay, so we got that. What can I do in 10 minutes? God, I have to pee so bad. Oh, guzzling water because it makes my voice sound like not gravel, and now I'm paying the price for it. So, Alright, let's take that contract for reach Earth orbital speed and return safely. I don't see a mass requirement, just a speed and altitude. Second completion will require getting in orbit with a minimum perigee of 200 kilometers. We can do that. greater than 6,500, altitude above 150. I think we can do that. Oh, this doesn't... Oh, this is required. Okay, yeah. Then, dink, we got it. We'll go ahead and take that. How long until that's done? It's at 43%. Moonshot 2-1 will be done very soon. I don't know if we can actually fly that mission before I have to go, but it is what it is. That'll spike us up by 11 grand. Yeah, we have lost missions that we didn't really care about. I wonder if we should upgrade our admin building. That only gives us one additional slot, which I don't even think we have a program that we can fit in there, to be real honest. Did we upgrade mission control? We did, because we can plot nodes now. Alright, I guess we will roll this out. That was our second lunar impactor contract, yeah? How long till capsules are introduced? Let's check the research. We got to do human-rated EDL, which will finish up June 2nd of 61. Basic capsules become available to us to work with in the following November 25th, 1961. So we'll have a lot to be thankful for that year. Three entire years post-research. Oh yeah, we got time, but like, if we can knock it out with hardware we have sitting around, then dude, let's do that. Why not, right? Okay, you know what? I'm curious. Now that we can poke the Gemini capsule, I just want to see what the Delta V figures look like if we just stack it on top of our BP4W as it sits. Just beeline the few nodes to get to the docking stuff. Right on, Tyrannosaurus. See you next week. Thanks for hanging out. I hope you get your RP1 RSS working. Of course. Now it takes forever. Yeah, Modelo 2A. So let's change this name to, I don't know, Mark 1, just so I know what I'm talking about when I do this. And boom, drag that down. We'll quick save dummy right this minute. I quick saved there, done. Grab all of you and press delete. Do we want to do Mercury or we want to do the Mark 1? Kind of like doing the Mark 1 because it's just it's easier. I know it's heavier and it doesn't work quite as well. But what's our vessel mass? 0.847. So we're probably, let me just slap a lead weight on it. Lead weight on it. Right quick. No. Tank UI, not tool tank, stupid. Lead ballast. Yeah, that about doubles our weight. So we're like 1.6 ton, 1.72 ton. And let's see if this will put it in orbit. No. That's a pretty resounding probably not. But let's also resort our staging here so that things are in kind of the correct place. Yeah, no, 8450. Clearly not. So let's take this diameter in and see what kind of mass we're looking at to actually get to orbit safely. Yeah, 9464. That should be a good orbit, which means our deliverable on this vehicle is about 1 ton. So, if we can put a parachute and some retro thrusters and a heat shield on this and have it be just north of a ton, we can do this. Right on, Ampersand. Thank you so much for all of your work, for everything that went into this stream and for in future streams too. But yeah, the drop tank version can carry more. So there you go. There's your tonnage goal. Let's do 1.2, 1.3 tons to orbit. Drop tanks crude. Because, yeah, why not? That's what we'll shoot for. Have a good night, Ampersand. Thank you so much. Off to... Oh, man, I missed that one. Sorry, Nimmin. Have a good night. All right, y'all. That's honestly, that's going to have to do it for me, too. So we're going to find another Kerbal streamer to raid. I'm going to run the outro. And, I don't know. Y'all have your homework. How much mass do you have left on this pad? Solid augmented without major upgrades. Could be. Let's just take a quick look at the stats here. No. Cancel. Cancel. No. Solids are tough in this version. You don't need to worry about fuel types, but pure mass. Yeah, I think we've got the room for... I think we have the overhead for mass, for sure. Because this one will go to 75 tons. This booster, as it sits, is about 63, 64 tons. So we could do some casters on the side just to kind of help get us up into the air. But we haven't invented casters yet. I did not choose to research that node quite yet. So it's something. It's a thing. That one doesn't fit on you, so we have to do the adjustable and then 2 meters and not heatsink, but mercury. There we go. What's our tonnage now? 1.24. Oh man, are we over our tonnage limit just with this and the heat shield? Yep. We're at 1.1 tons already with just the heat shield. We still need a parachute and a retro package. So that'll be fun. Alright, y'all. That's going to do it for me tonight, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out. I really appreciate it. All of it. Really, I do. I should be back next week. Same crash time, same crash channel. So, I guess, hopefully, I'll be poking at this most of the week, probably. And hopefully we'll have something result-worthy next week. But no promises, right? Stresses for the next time, right? Anyway, y'all have a good week. I will see all of you in the next one. So until then, see you later.